Segment. I will mention off the top, yesterday we had a bet. LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers.
Who won?
Oilers, my team.
Who
we
won?
had a bet. They lost because of the
You look
because
very
of the
dapper today.
lines. And yeah, so our bet, I guess we decided the losing team's fan will have to wear the other team's colors. I'm wearing gray and black, or silver and black for the Kings. And eventually we'll do it again where you have to wear Oilers blue.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
We're going to move on to local
you look
hockey.
good anyways. You look good in the black and silver.
Okay, so turning to local hockey, lots of action. We have hockey tonight for the Bandits.
Yeah, and they're in action last night at Game 3-2. Looking to get back into the series, down 2-0. But you never say that you're never out of it until you lose a game at home. But obviously trying to take advantage of home ice Tuesday night. Bandits wasting no time. Jared Wayhill picks the defenseman's pocket, and he's off to the races, snapping at blocker's side. Bandits up 1-0. Lead didn't last long. Just a minute later, Wheat Kings on the power play. James Newby redirects the point shot, knotting it up. Now 2-2 in the second. Austin Wilson with the dangle, tees it up for Newby. That's his second of the game. Wheaties up by 1. $1:30 later, Lloyd on the man advantage. Captain Chris Romachuk with some dirty moves of his own snaps it home, making it 3-3. Early in the third, Anthony Renier makes a couple guys miss before ripping it by Damian McKinnon. Bandits retake the lead. Killen Wood tied up, then off the rebound. Wilson slides at Blair Mahone. The seesaw battle continues. It's 5-4. Bandits respond. Wayhill pots home his second of the night. It's 5-5 midway through the third. Now 6-5 Killen. Lloyd pull even again, and again it's Wayhill tipping home his third. That's the hat trick. Hit the reset button. It's 6-6. Then with 3 to play, Wayhill goes cross crease to Brody Pollard. Bandits up 7-6. They add some insurance, going on to a wild 8-6 victory, getting back into the series.
Guys showed great resiliency and character to get the win on that one. They just didn't die, wouldn't quit, and I mean, kudos to them. They just worked their butts off.
Oh, it was a battle the whole way through, and on all lines just came out and brought their A game, and I don't know, everyone felt good today, and it felt nice to come out there and beat them.
And Game 4 of that series goes tonight back at the Civic at 7:30. As for the Bobcats, they're on the road as they face off against Fort McMurray Oil Barons. And this is the 6th and final meeting between the two clubs, with the Mob taking the last 3. Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7:30. Well, after finishing 4th in the Dodge Division, the Lloydminster Baker Hughes Bobcats now get ready for the postseason, with Game 1 going tonight against Leduc.
Heading into the season, the Baker Hughes Bobcats had a couple goals they wanted to accomplish. One was to make it to the playoffs, the other get home ice advantage.
Anytime you go into playoffs, you know, your regular season kind of gets wiped out the middle. I'd way rather play at home than on the road. You guys get to sleep in their own beds, have their own meals, and you just don't have to worry about any of the elements on the road.
In the first round, the Cats will take on the Leduc Oil Kings. Going 2-0 against Leduc in the season, the Bobcats defense will be the X factor, taking on a team that scored 141 goals, second most in the league.
They're a highly offensive team, and we've done a fairly good job at shutting that down in the regular season. We know we're going to have to do that again here in the playoffs, and hopefully we can get some good goaltending to help that out.
We need to really just stick to our systems. They're a physical team, like I said, and just got to move our pucks, support each other, and just beat them everywhere.
Being able to string together a winning streak has been an issue for the Bobcats. Alternating wins and losses since the Christmas break, they're putting that all behind them, knowing playoffs is a different story.
I think we need to start fresh here. Playoffs is basically a new season for us. New mindset, just go in thinking that we got to play at our best. Got to be as better as the team was were through the regular season, and just stick how we play.
Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7 o'clock at the Service Sports Center.
All right, to Junior A, there may only be 4 games left in the regular season for the Bonnyville Pontiacs, but those 4 games could tell a huge story. As Clayton Brown explains, with less than a week left before the end of the regular season and first place all but wrapped up by Spruce Grove, the rest of the North Division teams are fighting for home ice advantage.
It's been one of the most highly competitive divisions in all of Canadian junior hockey, so it should be no surprise with 4 games left, the Bonnyville Pontiacs could find themselves anywhere from 2nd to 7th place by season's end.
Obviously, coming in second would be good. It'd be a home ice advantage, and that plays a big part in playoffs. So I think if we take care of our end of things, come playoff time, we'll be ready to go.
The Pontiacs' last 4 games are home-and-home series. One against Lloydminster this weekend, and then a crucial 2 games next week with the Oil Barons, who sit just 1 point ahead of Bonnyville.
We all know that they've got great coaching, and that rink that they've got is probably the most intimidating rink in the Alberta Junior Hockey League in terms of a fan support perspective, and they're a difficult team to play there.
They're always a pretty rugged team, and it's usually a fun, playoff type atmosphere. So obviously those 4 points are huge.
After losing 9 of their last 10 heading into the postseason just a year ago, the returning players know the impact momentum from the end of the regular season can have in the playoffs.
You go into the playoffs having the feeling that you can't be beat, it's a lot better than being pretty defeated going in. So hopefully we can take most of these last few games and go in on a high.
One play could make a difference in the game, so we have to establish our focus and commitment for 60 minutes to make sure that we're doing all the little things that we can to create that success going in.
In Bonnyville, Clayton Brown, Newcap Sports.
Elsewhere, Saskatchewan struggles continue, giving up 4 in the 8th as they drop their 3rd consecutive 8-2 to Ontario. New Brunswick keeps their playoff hopes alive with a 10-7 win over Newfoundland. And with the win, PEI moves into a tie for 4th with Saski with the 7-6 win over the Territories. With Draw 10 wrapping up, we talked to Scott Manners and get his thoughts about Saskatchewan's recent struggles and how he thinks the playoff positions will pan out. All right, Scott, we'll just start off with Saskatchewan after coming out with a blazing 4-0 start. 0-3 now after a loss this afternoon. Just what are some of the things that you noticed between games from winning 4 in a row to now losing 3 straight?
Well, a little bit of loss of momentum, and I hate to say that, but it's that midweek blues it might be for the team, and all it's going to take is a couple shots or a couple hot ends. The team is really going to be able to turn it around and chalk up more W's on the board for sure.
Now, do you think maybe fatigue is starting to play a factor? They're 7 games deep now, so do you think middle of the week, do you think fatigue's starting to set in with this team?
A little bit, yeah. You can't help it. It's your first national event. It's your first time at this level, and I know it's going to be setting in. I hate to say it, but I've been there before as an athlete, and it's tough that midweek. Everything kind of gets a little tougher sometimes, but I know these girls are going to turn it around, and one good game and they'll be right back on their feet.
Okay, now Draw 10 this afternoon. Heck of a matchup with Ontario and Saskatchewan, and then you had Canada and Manitoba, with Manitoba just squeaking it out. Heck of a curling game between 2 great teams.
It was, and Manitoba played extremely well in that game. Team Canada, they brought their best. It seemed to, after about the 5th end, you could see Heather and the team just kind of, the percentages drop a little bit. The shot making wasn't quite the same, and it reflected on the scoreboard.
Okay, now middle of the week, standings are starting to shape up, mold. We're kind of starting to figure out who's going to make the playoffs with Canada, Manitoba, Ontario looking very strong. But 4th place, we could see some possible tiebreakers with Saskatchewan, PEI and BC, and PEI and BC also facing off against each other tonight.
Right, and that'll be a key matchup tonight. We have BC playing Prince Edward Island, so it's the battle of those 3 losses teams. It's going to be interesting to see who plays who, and how well they come out and play tonight will be really key. We'll see who gets geared up, because Prince Edward Island lost their first 3 games, and now they're coming at it now they've won 3 games, so we'll see if they can keep it rolling.
Now, if you're Saskatchewan sitting in the hotel room or at the rink watching tonight's game, who are you cheering for tonight? You already played PEI, who already beat Saskatchewan, but you haven't played BC yet. So you're sitting watching on TV. Who's Saskatchewan kind of rooting for tonight?
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to cheer for. I think they're going to try and just take care of their own backyard. They're going to try and take every game now is really key at 3 losses. If they get to 4 and 5 losses, it'll really get really a congested field, and that 4th spot will really be up in the air.
Okay, now with 1 versus 2, Page playoff, and 3 versus 4, we kind of see who's going to be the top 3, but who do you think will get the first 2 positions and able to get maybe that extra bye if they lose and get into the semifinals?
Yeah, right now Manitoba really looks strong, especially with that Team Canada victory over them today. Manitoba, Jennifer Jones, no stranger to the playoffs or any part of this competition. They've really played well. In the game today, they really showed their strength as a novice team. There was no distractions. There was no flaw in their strategy today. They were well composed.